Remember DeLorean, Pontiac, and Hummer? These brands were once booming, but now they're just part of car history. And believe it or not, some of today's biggest car companies are heading down the same road. Today on Kinetic Horsepower, we're counting down the car brands that are barely hanging on. Will they bounce back, or are they about to vanish for good? Let's find out. Number 8, Maserati. Maserati used to be a top choice for luxury car buyers, but things have taken a sharp turn. In 2024, their US sales dropped 37%, selling only 4,819 cars. And it's not just bad in America. Sales in Italy fell by 41%, with only 2,242 units sold. Globally, Maserati moved just 11,300 vehicles, a 57% drop compared to 2023, losing a massive $285 million. So what went wrong? Maserati's troubles boil down to 3 major problems. First, their marketing didn't do a good job showing why Maseratis were better than the competition. Second, they kept having reliability issues, things like electrical problems, transmission failures, and engine troubles. And third, the crazy high cost of owning one, from repairs to low resale values, made loyal buyers start questioning if it was worth it. Now Ferrari has passed them in sales, moving 13,752 units, and Lamborghini isn't far behind with 10,700 sold. Things got so bad that their CEO, David Grosso, was fired in 2024, and there's another big hurdle. Trump's 25% import tariffs are making Maseratis, which were already pricey, even more expensive. Since Maserati doesn't make cars in the US, they're in a tough spot. Unless they turn things around fast, Maserati could just become another name in American car history. Up next, a famous brand owned by one of the biggest automakers in the world that's struggling hard. Number 7, Jaguar. In 2024, Jaguar Land Rover's CEO, Adrian Mardell, told investors they were cutting several low-profit models because Jaguar is shifting to an all-electric lineup. Right now, the only vehicle Jaguar's making is the F-Pace SUV. And it shows. Sales have collapsed. Jaguar sold just 33,000 vehicles worldwide in 2024, a huge 82% drop from their peak of 180,833 in 2018. In the US, they delivered just 13,210 units. Going fully electric is a bold move, but some experts think it could cost Jaguar up to 85% of their current customers. On top of that, Jaguar Land Rover stopped shipping cars to the US because of Trump's tariffs, putting even more pressure on the brand. With barely any models left, falling sales, and a risky all-EV future ahead, Jaguar could soon be nothing more than a sad story, from a luxury symbol to barely surviving. Now, here's another legendary name that's falling apart because of its own mistakes. Number 6, Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo still makes some of the best-looking cars around, but here's the hard truth. Almost nobody's buying them anymore. Back in 2018, Alfa sold nearly 24,000 cars in the US, but in 2024, that number crashed down to just 8,865 cars. To give you an idea, in just March 2025 alone, Honda sold 147,792 vehicles in the US. Alfa's downfall is pretty clear. First, they became known for gorgeous cars with awful reliability. Owners reported coolant leaks after just 3,000 miles, suspension problems at around 40,000 miles, and constant recalls from leaking fuel systems to faulty airbags. Even the high-performance Quadrifoglio models powered by Ferrari engines had the same frustrating issues. Making things worse, parent company Stellantis pulled back big time. They killed off the Quadrifoglio versions, leaving a boring, watered-down lineup. Now, dealers have a tough time convincing customers to pick an Alfa when they could just buy something more reliable from BMW, Audi, or even Mazda. While the brands we've talked about so far were expected to struggle, the next ones might really surprise you. Number 5, Mini. Mini's identity crisis in the US has hit a breaking point. The brand, once loved for its small, fun cars, only sold 26,299 vehicles in America in 2024, a 21.5% drop from 2023 and way down from their 2012 peak of 76,354 sales. It's even worse for the new Countryman SUV, which has a 188-day supply just sitting on dealership lots because people just aren't interested. BMW's handling of Mini hasn't helped either. A messy redesign in 2024, combined with a major brake recall across the company, left dealers scrambling. Plus, BMW canceled the electric Cooper convertible, showing even they might be losing faith. Mini used to stand for being small, fun, and affordable. Now their cars are bigger, more expensive, and stuck awkwardly between cheap cars and real luxury brands. Unless Mini gets back to its roots, it could just quietly fade away, forgotten by the fans who once loved it. Number 4, Chrysler. There was a time when Chrysler stood tall next to GM and Ford as part of Detroit's Big Three. In 2005, Chrysler sold 649,293 vehicles across 7 models. Today, Chrysler's down to just minivans, and even those are barely hanging on. The once game-changing Pacifica and the budget Voyager are all that's left, and over the past 10 years, sales have dropped by 50%. Chrysler missed the memo when people started ditching minivans for SUVs. The 300 sedan, which used to be a fan favorite, has been discontinued, and the big hope, the Airflow EV, was canceled before it even hit the market. Stellantis' CEO has made it clear, brands that don't perform will get cut. Some experts even say Chrysler's in worse shape now than back in 1979 when it needed that $1.5 billion government bailout. Back then, there was still some fight left. Today, with no fresh models, no EV game plan, and falling sales, Chrysler might disappear from US roads completely. Before we dive into the final 3 brands, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Kinetic Horsepower. Number 3, Mitsubishi. Remember when Mitsubishi cars seemed to be everywhere? Yeah, those days are long gone. Sure, Mitsubishi's US sales grew by 25% in 2024, but even then, they're still selling less in a year than some brands sell in a month, and they just made a risky move. They killed off their best seller, the Mirage. The Mirage made up most of Mitsubishi's 109,843 US sales in 2024. Walk into one of their 300 US dealerships today, and you'll see the problem immediately. Empty lots with a few Outlanders and aging Eclipse Cross SUVs. By cutting their most affordable and best-selling car, Mitsubishi left dealers stuck with pricey vehicles and not much else to offer. If they don't make some big moves soon, Mitsubishi could vanish from the US market altogether. Number 2, Fiat. Fiat's situation is honestly one of the biggest mysteries in the car world. How can they sell 1.2 million cars globally but flop so hard in America? The numbers say it all. In 2024, Fiat sold just 1,528 cars in the US. To put that in perspective, Toyota sold about 6,831 vehicles per day in 2024, and weirdly 1,528 is actually an improvement. In 2023, Fiat only sold 605 cars here. Fiat had a great start when it came back to America in 2011, hitting 46,121 sales in 2014. Number 1, Nissan. Not too long ago, Nissan was right there with Toyota and Honda at the top of Japan's auto industry. But now, the warning signs are impossible to miss. Their CEO, Makoto Uchida, called it an extremely tough situation, and that's being generous. Visit any Nissan dealership today and you'll spot the first major problem, an outdated lineup that just can't keep up. While other car makers rushed to roll out hybrids, Nissan barely showed up, missing one of the biggest shifts in what buyers want. They're also getting hammered by new tariffs since they're the biggest exporter of Mexican-made cars among Japanese brands. The numbers are rough. Nissan's US setup is built for an 8.5% market share, but they're only holding on to 4.5%. That gap equals billions of dollars in lost sales every year. Sure, 900,000 US sales a year sounds decent, but compared to their glory days, it's a huge drop and they're falling way behind the competition. And remember, there were talks about a massive $60 billion merger between Nissan and Honda. It fell apart. The deal's off. 2 Nissan executives have even warned that without major changes, the company has just 12 to 14 months left to survive. From the outside, it looks like Nissan's collapse is almost guaranteed. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Kinetic Horsepower. Tap the screen for more videos just like this, and we'll catch you in the next one.